Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic That's Known Classics. Episode 1500. Yep, finally reached this far. And Doubleshot number 1394. Wow, 1500 episodes. Who would have thought I'd reach this far? Now, before I start with the two trades, basically, I have here, Double Digital. There's something I forgot to mention. I had to rush because I had to leave to take care of something. But, the thing I got to mention about Joe Winnick. Whenever he was writing Batman, it seems as though when he finishes the story, he just abruptly leaves a cliffhanger that, in the case of the two he did, first one said the very next arc, but when he left Long Shadows, he left a cliffhanger hanging and just, I'm not really sure why he left the book for, when he left at the Long Shadows. Yeah, for that one, there was no explanation why he did it. And of course, after that, basically had Tony Daniel writing or drawing the comic book up until the book was relaunched number one. Yeah, Winnick had his thing for doing that for some reason when he was writing Batman. Do not know what was the reason for it, but we're going to take a look at Batman. First up, we have Batman Volume 3 Ghost Stories. Yep, this, of course, is the third trade that collects James Tynion's run for Batman, collecting issues Batman 101 to 105, the 5th annual. Yes, the 5th annual. And a short story from the Detective Comics number 1027. If you're a little curious, though, about the Detective Comics 1027, yeah, the thing with this book is that, it was a double-sided issue celebrating, 80 years of Batman, obviously. Yeah, celebrate 80 years of Batman, and excuse me. Yeah, it's pretty much like 80 years of Batman. It's just basically a short story of a possible future of Batman. They are working on by Riley Ruspo, who actually is the current artist for Harley Quinn. Yep. Now, that's the thing with that one. Now, the annual itself is focused on one of the characters who appear in this story arc here. The first issue, 101, is mostly put for this one. This is an aftermath issue of kind of in a way what's going on with the aftereffects of Batman. Like right after the events of Joker War. Yep. Where basically in this very story arc, thanks to you have a brief flashback of Batman wearing the Neil Adams costume, which I thought that was so cool. Yeah, you have Batman and Catwoman still an item, but they decided to basically just not exactly put the relationship to the side. Basically, she needs to take care of something. And then we cut to 1 week prior to this, where apparently Batman is fighting Grifter. Yes, Grifter. Now, I kind of thought the last time he physically appeared in a comic book was actually in a solo book back in 2013. Turns out I was actually wrong about that. Nope, his last physical appearance was in the pages of Grayson. Yes, I kind of forgot he was in the book. Yeah, he appeared in one of the last story arcs of the book before the book ended. Yeah, he appeared in issues, I look at my period, 9, 13, 16, 17, 18. Of course, his last appearance was back in 2016. This issue came out in 2020. So it had been 4 years since his last appearance. And pretty much the whole point of this little flashback, it establishes the fact that Grifter is now Lucius Fox's bodyguard. And the reason why is like that, because Lucius Fox got Bruce Wayne's money. That's, of course, due to the stuff related to Joker War. And the fact that Bruce Wayne basically was definitely framed, the fact he's actually innocent. The board actually agrees. Despite the fact he's under suspicion, he can't exactly get the money back just yet. But because he has control of the money, he has to basically, if Batman breaks, fix it yourself. I'm not paying for it. That's basically, he just is basically a thing for this. And of course, he apologizes for, apologizes for the sparring match he had. And after this, here's the strange thing about Grifter. He would actually return after this, believe it or not. But it wouldn't take him another 4 years to return. Oh no. He would actually make a return in the Batman Urban Legends series, where he had a feature in the book that just recently wrapped up. After like, it was a 5-part feature in the book. Basically, Urban Legends is this anthology book, and this kind of in a way, because I think Tim Tiniff knew Infinite Frontier was coming up, so he pretty much threw Grifter because he knew Grifter was going to play a role in probably play a role in that series. So he had him appear here, and then this is just a standalone issue. For issues 202, 205, it's a 4-parter dealing with the character, the Ghostmaker. Yep, the Ghostmaker. Yep. And also with the killer Ghost Hunter. He made his debut in the previous story arc. Well, in the case of Ghostmaker, he made his first appearance in issue 100. He apparently is a rival. He's apparently someone who knows Batman and does not get along with it. Like, okay, because he doesn't like how he deals with the character Clown Hunter, who, by the way, made his debut at the start of Joker during the events of Joker War. Yeah. Who apparently, get this, I think he's 17, he's already killed 24 people. Yeah, his real name is Bob Pam. Yeah, he's an original character. And he got in conflict. Now, thanks to Ghostmaker, apparently, get this, Ghostmaker thought it was a good idea to put him in the room with Harley Quinn. One of the people who the woman who brought the Joker to his family's restaurant, and of course the Joker murdered his parents. And the thing is, like, this was a test. Could he possibly kill Harley Quinn because she's one of the clowns? And, well, he chooses not to kill her. Yeah, he chooses not to kill her. Why, you might ask? Because basically he didn't feel any justification doing that. That's just my personal guess. Yeah, so he pretty much passes the test, and of course, yeah, all because of Clown Hunter, Ghostmaker thinks that Batman is failing. But thanks to, of course, Ghostmaker not killing Harley Quinn, he can do whatever he wants outside of Gotham. And Batman's like, Gotham is my city. Get out. You're not welcome here. And here's the name of Ghostmaker. Yeah, he's Vigilante, who's kind of in a way, Tiniff's way of basically doing a version of the Punisher. Except having him basically have a skull in his chest and fire machine guns off, the guy uses swords. Yeah. And the annual itself is just a focus on the character of, well, the Clown Hunter. We also get a brief flashback to when Batman first met the Ghostmaker. We also have guest appearances by Dick Grayson flashback. We even have, get this, and you're going to love this. We have, well, Stephanie Brown and Cassandra Cain calling themselves the Batgirls. All because Barbara Gordon is no longer in the costume. Yep. So, we had the Batgirls. Yes, the Batgirls. And, of course, Barbara's for the Batgirl Prime. Even though that she wants to still call her spoiler. Like, nope, we're Batgirls now. And we have Orphan, who is now known as a Batgirl. Get this. The artist put her in her pre-Flashpoint costume. Oh, yes, definitely. If you're a Cassandra Cain fan, you would personally love this. I think this is a smart move on Tiniff's part to do. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to show a good picture of him. Yeah, and I think this is the annual is most focused on Ghost Hunter and Leslie Tompkins. Yeah, which Leslie Tompkins is a bit de-aged here. She's still an older woman, and she, of course, still doesn't approve of Batman's crusade, of his crusade against crime. But she's still an older woman. She's not like gray hair like she was usually depicted. And of course, we do show the flashback of how Joker killed, well, Clown Hunter's parents. Now, the annual itself for Batman, this annual was not done by the regular interior artist of Batman. No, this isn't. This annual's artwork is done by James Stokey. I think I need to pronounce the guy's name. Excuse me. Yeah, he does the artwork in this issue. It's okay artwork. Yeah, it's not terrible per se, but it's not exactly my favorite art style. It's fine. I have personally no problem with it at all. Let's see if I can find a good picture of Cassandra Cain as the Batgirl. Yeah, I like the fact that, well, she's now a Batgirl now. I think it's a really smart move on the part of the writer, part of James Tinney to do. Oh yeah, basically before we meet the Clown Hunter, he fights up with a gang of jokers. Oh yeah, and Clown Hunter repeatedly telling Ghostmaker, I don't like you. Here we go. Here it is. Here she is, Cassandra Cain in her pre-Flashpoint Batgirl costume. I think it's great. The only slight thing they don't have here, because if anybody's ever seen her pre-Flashpoint costume, she has like stitches around where the mouth is. Here it's not obvious that there's stitches there, but yeah, it's her pre-Flashpoint costume. Yes, my guess is my guess is this is Tinney following up with something that he actually set up. Yeah, thanks to the story arc "A Lonely Place of Living," it was revealed thanks to basically the Tim Drake from the future, who later became the main villain of the Titans of Tomorrow story arc, of the Super Sons of Tomorrow. He revealed to Stephanie Brown and Cassandra Cain that at one point these two were in fact Batgirls. Yes, Batgirls. Which, yeah, that's a really neat idea. Though my question is this. That happened, I think it was like in 2017 this was. And here's the weird thing. Okay, why the heck would you wait, I don't know, 3 years to follow up with this? Yeah. But this story arc, this trade here is so really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm going to give this book a 9 out of 10. Really good here. Next up, it is Wonder Woman. I believe this is the new relaunch Volume 5. I think, yeah, Volume 5. Lords and Liars. Yes, Lords and Liars. This pretty much is the entirety of the run of Mariko Tamaki. Yes, this writer took over with issue 759, and she left with 10 issues later. Yeah, I have no idea why in the world that she did this for, but she did. Maybe she was contracted to just do these issues. It's possible. But according to Red Line, yeah, she basically took over from Steve Orlando on the book. Yeah, she took over from Steve Orlando of all things, who was a good writer himself. Yeah, but I'm not really sure why even he left. He had just come back to the book briefly. I mean, he came back with issue, he came back with 51 to 55. He did 73, and he did 82, 83, and then he pretty much did 750 to 758. Yeah, that's pretty much all the guy did. And you have Mariko Tamaki taking over the book with issue 759. Then she leaves after 759 because of her next issue. We have Becca Cohen take over as one of the co-writers of the book. Lords and Liars. This is basically kind of in a way a couple story arcs here. The first portion of this book is simply Wonder Woman suffering from hallucinations while staying with the return of Maxwell Lord. Now, there's actually a reason for Maxwell Lord being in this book. You're probably wondering, what is the reason for Maxwell Lord being here? The reason is the Wonder Woman movie. No, I'm not kidding about that. That's the reason for him being here. Yeah. Though I think this was also the first time he appeared since Justice League versus Suicide Squad. Yes, I believe so. I think that was his last physical appearance, a date prior to this very story arc. Mm-hmm. Actually, no, he did appear briefly for No Justice #1. But I think that was also the very same issue where they apparently killed off Brainiac, though he later came back alive. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he appeared briefly in that book there. Now, that came out, I think it was like 2018, I think this came out. Yeah, 2018. And then when he appeared at the start of this book, like, because this was actually his first appearance. Let's see, what did he do in this book? Oh. Yeah, this may have been his first appearance in 2 years. Yeah, it had been 2 years since his last physical appearance to date. So he appears first as a sort of an antagonist, then he becomes a supporting character, then he becomes antagonist again. And she thinks Max Lord is responsible for causing her to suffer hallucinations. And during the hallucinations, at one point, she thought she sees the cheetah of all people. Yes, the cheetah. And it turns out Lord is not responsible for hallucinations. He has nothing to do with that. It turns out he has a daughter. Yes, who calls herself Liar Liar. No, seriously. That is seriously what she calls herself. Liar Liar. Yeah, she first appears at the start of this run. Yeah. And she appears just in this run. Yeah, she appears almost the entirety of the run. I think she skips like 2 issues. She skips issues 764 to 763 issues. She's in all but 3 issues of this writer's run. And it's interesting, though, that we give Maxwell Lord a daughter. Yes, a daughter. Which, I'm like, that's interesting. Which, my only guess is basically the reason why they made him a parent in comic, because in the movie he's a parent. Though in the movie he's got a son. In the comic, it's a girl. I think that's an interesting plot twist when it comes to him. Yes. Excuse me. After some convincing, she does stop her. And then, basically, something really weird happens. We have Wonder Woman traveling with Maxwell Lord, the same guy who in pre-Flashpoint, she snapped his neck. She killed him in pre-Flashpoint, yet now she's traveling with him, no problem. Yeah, apparently also the artist for this book apparently decided to draw her, like basically put him in an attire similar to what Steve Trevor was wearing in the Wonder Woman movie. Which I think is so hilarious. The fact, look, here he is. Here's Lord. And don't tell me that's basically, even though that, just by looking at him, he looks almost exactly like Chris Pine. Yes, for some reason, now look at this picture here. The way he's drawn in this issue here. This is issue, let's see. The Amazing Darn Haddock. Let's see if I can find this book here. Let's see. No, that's not it. I'm trying to find the issue number. Excuse me. Just let's see here. Okay, okay. It's 764. Yep. And of course, this issue is drawn by Steve Pulak. Yes. Now, anybody who's seen the Wonder Woman movies and knows what Chris Pine looks like, why the heck is Max Lord drawn like Chris Pine? Even though that, yes, Chris Pine does not play Maxwell Lord. Oh no. Maxwell Lord is played by a completely different actor. Oh, and there's something really cool about this version. I will bring that up. Oh, don't worry about that. Now, Max Lord in the Wonder Woman movie, which is basically was promoting, he is played by Pedro Pascal. Yes, that's who plays him in the movie. And he has a son named Alistair, which I do remember him in the movie. Mm-hmm. Now, there's no denying. I mean, no denying the guy who played Maxwell in the movie. He did a fantastic job playing Maxwell Lord. Now, if I meet Steve Pugh, I'm gonna ask him, why in the world did you draw Maxwell Lord in your issue? In some issues like Chris Pine. Yes, and it's just a fun little three-parter where Maxwell is here just as a supporting character, just in this run. Fights some robot and a shark, and we have appearance by, well, of all things, well, the Hall of Justice, and Superman is here. Yep. Now I will mention, okay, what is the cool thing before I continue? Okay, so it was revealed apparently when the source are broken. Apparently Maxwell Lord remembers pre-Flash his. Apparently he gained his pre-Flashpoint memories. And you're thinking, how? Like, what does he remember by pre-Flashpoint, you might ask? Also, we have a guest appearance by Count Vertigo, of all people. Yes, Count Vertigo. Which seems so bizarre. Like, why the heck is Count Vertigo doing in a Wonder Woman comic? He's a Green Arrow villain. Oh, there's a reason why he's here. Because there's no Green Arrow comic, so don't just put him in a comic book. Just put him out there. Yeah. Like, he's not doing anything. Not really, no. I mean, after these two issues, his next appearance is in Batman Secret Files of Signal, which is a very recent comic that came like a month ago. Yeah, that was his most recent appearance day right after this two-parter. Yeah. And of course, after this, well, actually, no, he did appear in that book. He actually made a next appearance in, let's see, was it Flashback for this one? Yeah, it's Flashback. Yeah, it was a flashback in Action Comics 1010, but technically, if you think about it, like, after this one, it's basically, like, the Signal. That was his next appearance. I'm going to try to find it here. Where is it? I know there's a panel, they show it here. Where... Yeah, Renaz was his daughter. And all because the Source Wall broke, and somehow that's how he remembers pre-Flashpoint. I'm trying to find it here. Because it's just a cool thing. If you're a fan of like classic Maxwell Lord, you would love this. I'm trying to find it here. Oh, you want to help me? Where is it? Because I know it was an issue of this very volume that he somehow remembers pre-Flashpoint Justice League. Okay. Okay, I found it now. Let's see if I can find it here. It's going to take me a bit to find it here. Here it is. Like, look at this. That's pre-Flashpoint Justice League International. This comes from issue 762. Yeah, anybody can tell that's pre-Flashpoint JLI because you have Black Canary in her 80s garb, and you have Captain Marvel. Yes, Captain Marvel, not Shazam. Basically looking like his pre-Flashpoint with Guy Gardner, Mr. Miracle, Marshmallow, and the Batman. Yeah. And how did he remember this? The source wall breaking. Yeah. All because the source wall broke. That is how he remembered the JLI, which I'm like, really? Yeah, really? Yeah. And then we have more awesomeness here. Like, right after they wrap up the stuff with Lord, I think he's hauled up and gets stabbed. We did have a guest appearance by Deathstroke, of all people. Yes, Deathstroke. And you're probably thinking, what the heck is Deathstroke doing here? The answer, you might add, and the answer is, well, it's basically, from her perspective, the last time she officially saw Deathstroke was back in the second arc of his solo book by Tony S. Daniel. Yeah, that was the last time he encountered Wonder Woman. And you're thinking, really? Yes, really. Like, okay, and what is his most recent appearance date? Like even after this? Well, he did briefly appear in Joker War. Well, actually, he appeared just prior to Joker War. Let's see. He appeared in Fortnite, 0 Point. I think his most recent appearance to date, and I'm looking at right now, was presumably, and this is my personal theory, let's see. I think it was Urban Legends number 4. That's his most recent appearance to date. It seems as though as soon as his solo title ended, he's back doing sporadic appearances again. Which comes back to the question, why the heck did you end this book for in the first place? Yep. And he's only here just for a quick, few issues. He's only here for, one issue. And that's it. Yep. Just this one issue. And then you had the finale dealing with the whole liar, liar stuff. We finally wrap up our story thread here with issue 769, which is actually the finale from Arkham Chronicles run, where she has some influence left from her father, despite that his, apparent death at the hands of his own daughter. Well, I think he's, hospitalized, but he's not dead. Yeah. But in the case of this book overall, this book was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. What ranking do I give this book? I'm going to go surprised to give this book a 10 out of 10. This book was fun good, thoroughly enjoyable. What hyped up for me for this book was seeing a cameo, the JLI cameo, which was so awesome. The fact of a cameo of that of all things. Mm-hmm. But if you're a little curious though, like, has Maxwell Lord appeared since this run wrapped up? Well, he did appear for a cameo for Harley Quinn New Year. Year of the Villain of the Year. That was just a cameo. I don't really count that one because it's out of continuity. But yeah, I don't think he's appeared since then. No, he hasn't. Which is quite strange. I mean, his last appearance was roughly 8 months ago. So he could definitely come back. They don't really confirm he's dead. They have an apparent death by him. But okay, now as my ranking for this one, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. It's just really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yep. So yeah, that's it, particular review. Stay tuned for my other reviews, which will be Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid and Drugstore in Another World. Okay, next video. Bye.